All right, hey everyone, Dago FPS here, back again for the third and final part of my physical Nintendo collection. So here we have my Switch and Switch 2 games. Um, this is when I really got back into Nintendo, was with the Nintendo Switch. I'm telling you guys a story. The Nintendo Switch came out March 8th, 2017, which was my birthday. And I had turned 20 years old, and um, I had the funds to get a Nintendo Switch, and there was one in a Walmart near me, but for some reason I didn't getting it, so I didn't end up getting the Nintendo Switch till 2018. And man, did I miss out on that first year of games. We had Super Mario Odyssey, we had Breath of the Wild, which I did end up playing both later on, but I could have been playing them in 2017, so I do kick myself for not doing that. Other thing was I got the neon red and blue Joy-Cons. Uh, Wish I'd gotten the gray ones because there was some skins that came out that look way better with the gray ones later on. So did end up getting gray ones later on, but wish I'd gotten them earlier. So that's just my little rant right there. So let's go ahead and get into the games. Like before, I'm gonna go ahead. I have these in a specific order on my shelf, so I'm gonna flip them around so we can go ahead and start with them. All right, and we're back. So we'll go ahead and start with our first stack right here. So we've got Animal Crossing. This came out right as I believe April, the first week of April, right as pandemic was taking effect, March to April 2020. If you guys remember, this was a big deal because people were stuck inside with nothing else to do. Animal Crossing drops, and everybody and their moms on this game. Played it with a ton of people. You can pre-order the Switch 2 upgrade pack for $5, I believe. I already did so. So you play it on Switch 2 with a few enhancements. So probably one of the better Animal Crossings. This was when I really got into the franchise. Shout out to Vivian for introducing me. Next up, we've got Apex Legends Champion Edition. So I got this mainly because Apex Legends is a spin-off of Titanfall franchise. I did like Titanfall a lot, and then Apex Legends came to PS4 and Xbox One, and then eventually it came to Switch. Don't know how they managed to pull it off. It doesn't play the smoothest, but you can play Apex Legends on Switch. So got that right there. After that, this is a more recent edition, Batman Arkham Trilogy. So as you can see, includes all three games. So Batman Arkham Asylum, City, and Night even on here. Arkham Asylum and City are re-releases of the Batman Return to Arkham collection, and Night is like a full port job to the Nintendo Switch. It doesn't run the best by any means, but you can play all the Batman Arkham trilogy. Glad to see this came out because Arkham Origins came out on the Wii U, and Arkham Origins Blackgate came out on the 3DS, and so they were on Nintendo's previous system, and so the fact that you can get the remaining games on the Wii Nintendo Switch now, that's really good. Now we just need a Origins Remaster collection. Okay, next up we've got the Bayonetta games. So Bayonetta, Cerise and the Lost Demon, Bayonetta 1, Bayonetta 2, and Bayonetta 3. So Bayonetta 1 and 2 came out on Switch, but here in North America, they kind of did the same thing again with the Wii U version, full game download. So on the Wii U, if you remember, it was Bayonetta 2 plus 1 plus 2, both this in one game. This time it's just Bayonetta 2 and cartridge and full game download for that. But later on, they did release Bayonetta standalone around Halloween time. It's kind of random, honestly, but I think it came out right before Bayonetta 3, so like get you back into the franchise. So then Bayonetta 3 came out. Not the best sequel, but it was fun to play through it again, especially when it's built for the Switch hardware. So that was good. And then a prequel, Bayonetta, Cerisa, and the Lost Demon. Unique art style, and you play as a young Bayonetta, and explore her origins. So that's the complete Bayonetta collection for now. We'll see what they do with the franchise on the Switch too. Next up is a unique spin-off, Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necrodancer, featuring The Legend of Zelda. Man, I don't know if that's the longest video game title in the world, but it's up there. So basically, this is Cadence. So basically, Crypt of the Necrodancer was a rhythm game that released it was an indie game. I'm not sure if it came out on the Switch, the 3DS, or the Wii U, but it came out on Nintendo franchise, on Nintendo platform. And then it appears Nintendo liked it enough to license them the Legend of Zelda characters, because that's what she does. She basically 2D sprite style Zelda dancing game. So there you go. Next up, we've got Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. So this is one of the earlier Nintendo Switch games, and it's kind of also a mini fad that went on with Nintendo Switch and 3DS getting duplicates of the same game. So this is on Switch and 3DS, and it expands upon the Captain Toad mini game in the Wii U version of Super Mario World 3D World. So just puzzle games all around, fun little game to play through. Next up, we got Dead Cells Return to Castlevania. So Dead Cells is a roguelike, and basically you go ahead and fight through a dungeon, and if you die, you end up going back, and then you just gotta fight over and over again. The reason I got this one is because it's Return to Castlevania, so that was a DLC pack that came for it, but this one came out of the physical version of it, so I ended up picking it up just to play through as Castlevania characters. Really like the Castlevania franchise. Don't have a lot of them physically, have a lot of them digitally. Okay, next up, we've got Detective Pikachu Returns. So this is a sequel to Detective Pikachu on 3DS. I didn't get a chance to play through this yet, but glad that there's more Detective Pikachu. They need to hurry up with the second movie. Okay, next up is Disney Epic Mickey Rebrush. So if you guys didn't know, Epic Mickey was exclusive for the Nintendo Wii. I played it on the Wii. I believe we rented it from Redbox at the time because we had that membership, or Blockbuster. We had both, so I'm not sure which one at the time. But I rented it, never fully owned it, but I wanted to get this on Switch since it came out as a rebrush. It does have new enhancements in it. They need to hurry up with the second version. I mean, there's still time to release it on a Nintendo Switch, so you can have that, and then just do upgrades for Switch too. Next up, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. I don't know what re-release of this is, but this is a re-release Donkey Kong Country for earlier Nintendo hardware. It's classic Donkey Kong, love it. Then after that, we got Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. So this was the sequel after that. Not too many, I didn't play this as much, but look, it's got the new Funky Kong mode, and I know that was a meme on the internet, so. Next up, we've got two games I had to import, and you're going to see there's quite a few Nintendo Switch games I imported. So here we have Fatal Frame, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, and Maiden of Blackwater. So, just some background. I do like horror game franchises. I do like watching horror movies, like horror games, like that feeling of not being in control, the suspense, the fear. Love it all. Fatal Frame was originally started on the PlayStation, but then I believe the third game on. So after the third game, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse was the fourth game. It came over to Nintendo Wii as part of an exclusive agreement, and then Nintendo later on brought out the second game, Crimson Butterfly, for the Wii as well. Those are only in Japan. Then on the Wii U, we've got the fifth game in the series, Maiden of Blackwater. So this one only came out came out physically on the Wii U in Japan, and it had a unique black case. And then it also came out in Europe, but did not come out physically in America. It did come out digitally in America. So when these got announced for re-release on Nintendo Switch, I did my research and realized there were no physical copies here in North America, only digital. And I wanted to go ahead and get these physically because they do have unique. You could play as a DLC, so you could play as Nintendo character skins in there, like Princess Peach, or you could play as Samus. So that was pretty cool. So that's Fatal Frame, and they just announced Crimson Butterfly remake for Nintendo Switch 2, so that's going to be a nice addition. Okay, next up, we've got the Fire Emblem games. So Fire Emblem Warriors, Three Hopes, followed up by Fire Emblem Warriors, Fire Emblem Three Houses, and Engage. I realize I've got these out of order, so let me go ahead. Okay, so this is the correct order. for their releases on the Nintendo Switch. So Fire Emblem Warriors came out first. It was also came out on the 3DS, and this is kind of like the definitive edition, if you may. And you can play as like past Fire Emblem franchises. Then Three Houses, right here. This is honestly like Fire Emblem cross Harry Potter. Like they got a whole magical school, and they're all training there. And this was honestly my favorite Fire Emblem since Awakening. But this one like took on a light. This one went really far with the dating side quests. So that's Three Houses, and then this is Three Hopes, which is a Warriors version for Three Houses characters. And then the newest Fire Emblem, which I haven't had a chance to play yet, is Engage. And on the internet, they're called Toothpaste Chan, if you know, because of their crazy hair. But you could have spirits of older Fire Emblem characters fight alongside you. So favorite Fire Emblem on the Switch would be Three Houses currently. And then we'll move on to the next stack right after this. Okay, and now we'll move on to the next stack, which is right here. So to start, we've got Fortnite Darkfire bundle. So I did get really big into Fortnite on the PlayStation, and then it came to Switch, and then there was that big controversy with PlayStation preventing other players from using their account on their platform, and then even locking it out of other accounts if you had linked it to PlayStation. Eventually, they fixed all that. And then I got the Darkfire bundle on Switch because the accounts were linked now. So if I got it on Switch, I'd still get the cosmetics on the PlayStation version, and eventually to PC when I started playing on there. So this is one of those code in a box, game card not included. I don't really mind these. I mean, it's better than nothing, guys, versus just straight digital. Like you're getting something code in a box, and I don't understand the big controversy with game key cards. Like I know the cards aren't on the cartridge, but they're too big for the cartridge, and there's not a big enough cartridge. That's the best option you're going to get. Like at least own it physically, because at least you can sell that and then the next person can use it. It's not just like a code in a box where it's single use. Game key cards are repeat use between different users. So just my 2 cents on that. So that's Fortnite. Next up is a unique release, Grand Theft Auto the Trilogy. So kind of surprised this came out, honestly, because not the fact that it came out, because I feel like the trilogy from PS2 was due for a remake. But the fact that it came out on Nintendo Switch, because the last Grand Theft Auto to come out on any Nintendo console was the Chinatown Wars, because that kind of had like an exclusivity agreement going on there. It was also a PSP version later on though. But this came out and it wasn't the best performing, but I mean they've improved it through multiple patches. You get all three. 3, Vice City, and San Andreas on a Switch, so there you go. Next up is another impressive port, Hogwarts Legacy. So this was like the best-selling game of 2023, if you didn't know. For one of the only years Call of Duty wasn't the best-selling game. And the fact that they managed to fit this on Switch. Now, albeit, I did play Hogwarts Legacy on PS5. The reason for that is because Hogwarts Legacy came out on PS5 first in February, and then they released PS4 and Xbox One versions a few months later, and then they released the Switch version later, like in the summer. So the Switch is easily the worst performing of all the versions, but it did have an upgrade pack for Switch 2, and that does drastically improve things. So glad to, at least, you know, if you want Hogwarts Legacy, here you go. And then there was also Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. So I actually got this for free on PlayStation Plus because it was like a day one release. But once I heard it was a physical edition, I wanted to get it so I could play it on my Switch as well. So the deluxe edition, you get the unique skins, and it's basically like just a Quidditch. It's just straight Quidditch, and if you want to play Quidditch, this is your chance. And then I actually got both of those games in a buy 2 get 1 free sale with this Lego Harry Potter collection. Only other Harry Potter game on the Switch, so figured might as well. I wish it would have anything not Lego style. I mean, don't mind Lego games, but Harry Potter used to have so many tie-in games. I wish they had a remastered collection of that, but this is the closest you'll get. So, all right, next getting into Hyrule Warriors. So this is one of the other import games I have. Now this did come out in America. I ordered it off Amazon. For some reason, they sent me a European copy. The only difference, the Switch is region free, so that's fine. But if you didn't know, is that in Europe, the Switch text on the spine is centered, versus in America, it is from left font. And then if we pull back we'll show you later. We'll go back to another import one. But yeah, so I actually played a lot of Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U. I think I ended up trading that game away. It was why it wasn't in my Wii collection. But then it also came out for 3DS, and then the definitive edition came out on Switch in 2018. So for a while, we were getting back-to-back Zelda games every single year, and this is part of the reason because Hyrule Warriors came out. Love this. You play through 30-plus characters from the Zelda franchise, from main characters to side characters, just crazy characters you shouldn't even be playing as. But just love Hyrule Warriors. And then next, we've got Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity. So this is supposed to be a prequel to Breath of the Wild, and then it turns out they do like a bait and switch at the end of this game where it turns out it's non-canon. And I was like, what? But anyways, yeah, this is Hyrule Warriors with Breath of the Wild characters in it. So there you go. And then for my girlfriend, shout out to you, boo. We got your Kirby games here. So Kirby in the Forgotten Land. Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe. She loves playing all the Kirby games. Kirby Star Allies. And then we've got another Rockstar Games release. So this actually came out pretty early in the Switch's lifetime, either 2017 or 18, because this also came out on PS4 and Xbox One. So Rockstar Games has shown the Switch some love. There's another Rockstar game we'll get to later on. But yeah, this is just LA Noire. So this is kind of like almost even a predecessor. This kind of just shows the issues with the Switch game card, because at launch they only had certain sizes available, and the size of this game exceeded that. So even if you have the card, you still need to install additional data onwards. So that's kind of what we're seeing nowadays with the game key card fiasco. I don't really mind. I'd rather have physical something than nothing. So then we're going to get into the Zeldas. So keeping in line with the Wii U getting 2 older Zelda remakes, we got Skyward Sword HD. So from the Wii to the Nintendo Switch, now we got Skyward Sword. I do like that they use traditional control schemes. So I did play this a bit more than the Wii version, but still not one of my favorite Zeldas. And then we got Link's Awakening. So this honestly might be my favorite Zelda on the Switch. Reason for that is because I had Link's Awakening DX on the Game Boy / Game Boy Color, and then it would replay it on the Game Boy Advance. So seeing this brought to life, just I played through it from launch all the way through, 100%ed it, love it. And then in the similar style, I'm not sure where on the timeline it actually takes place. I still haven't figured that out. But Echoes of Wisdom, you play as Zelda all the way through in the same manner as Link's Awakening. So love both these games. And then we're getting to the Breath of the Wild franchise. So Breath of the Wild, this is the open world Zelda that we had been waiting for. It was supposed to come out, I believe, maybe even 2014, but it didn't come out all the way till 2017. It came out on Wii U and Switch same day. But people primarily played it on Switch because of the launch title, and kind of like Twilight Princess all over again with that fiasco, releasing on current gen and old gen. But Breath of the Wild is changed the formula entirely. I understand a lot of people like games where they have like endless amounts of content, but when we're talking hundreds of hours, man, like I just don't have that amount of time anymore. So I'm really just beat the main story and that's it. Like I'm not doing all the side quests, especially the Korok Seed one with 900 some Korok Seeds. Like I'm good, man. And then Tears of the Kingdom, I actually like this one a lot more because I like the mechanic where you could stick items together to build things, and then you could travel. You could jump from as far up in the sky as you can to the underground. I really like that aspect in a 3D environment. So yeah, Tears of the Kingdom, I thought was a big improvement over Breath of the Wild. Even though people call it DLC, it did take 6 years to make. Did come out on the Switch, and then you got a free Switch 2 upgrade for both of these games if you're a Switch Online subscriber. And then next up, we've got Little Town Hero. So this is a custom case. I have the physical game but I do not. It did not come with its original case, so I had to get an extra case, and then I found artwork online. The only reason I have this is because this is one of the Game Freak's only non-Pokemon games. So published by Game Freak, makers of Pokemon. But yeah, I just wanted to support them. So after that, we got Luigi Mansions 2 HD and Luigi Mansion 3. So 2 and 3 So 2 originally came out on 3DS, and then now this is a remaster of it, and then 3 is a whole new game. And then we ended up getting Luigi's Mansion 1 on GameCube, Switch on 2, which is Switch 2 exclusive. So you can play the whole trilogy on Switch 2 now. So that's that. And then we got Mario and Luigi, Brothership. I didn't get a chance to play this, but heard good things about Mario and Luigi's franchise. And then we've got Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, the dual pack. So Mario and Rabbids is probably the number one Mario game to go on sale like ever. And then they eventually came out with the dual pack, and then even that went on sale. So I got this for like under $20, honestly. And for for two Mario games with all the DLC, I think that's pretty good. So. And then we got Mario Party Superstars. Shout out to John and Amanda. We played, I don't know how many times we played this, but that was pretty fun. This makes or breaks friendships. And then probably one of my most played Switch games is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So this is basically Mario Kart 8 revamped with additional content, including, as you can see in the back, guest characters from Legend of Zelda, Splatoon, and Animal Crossing. And I definitely put more hours on this because way more people had a Switch than a Wii U, so a lot of that time was spent online playing with friends. And then we'll move on to our next thought here right now. All right, and then we're going on with the next stack right here. Okay, so to start, we have Mario Strikers Battle League. So I picked this up because I never had Mario Strikers on the GameCube. This is basically Mario Sports Soccer. This does have online play, so that's pretty fun. After that, we've got Mario versus Donkey Kong. So this was like a side series of Mario and Donkey Kong way back in the day. I mean, they're like battling each other in like 2D Mario style. So pick this up, pretty fun. And then we got one of my favorites actually on the Switch. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order. So Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 were on earlier Nintendo systems. They didn't get re-released on Switch. There's some licensing disputes there, but they had this unique version only come out on the Switch, not on any other platforms, and it's got like 30 plus characters. This is very MCU inspired. A lot of the characters have MCU looking outfits, or like the plot lines in the game tie into shows and movies in the MCU. So beat this all the way through, really like it. Next up, we got a few Metroid games. So Metroid Dread. So this was originally canceled, I believe, on the Game Boy Advance. And then it kind of lived in development hell amongst the developers were trying to get it off the ground. And then Nintendo gave the go-ahead for the Switch. And it is a 2D Metroid on the Switch. Pretty fun to play, honestly. Glad we got that. And then we ended up getting Metroid Prime Remastered. So if you guys didn't know, Nintendo announced early on Metroid Prime 4 was going to be coming to Switch. And then we didn't hear anything for the longest time. And then word came out that they had to restart Metroid Prime 4's development. So to fill the gap, once they told us that future release date, they announced they did a shadow drop of Metroid Prime Remastered, and the physical version, even they shadow dropped the digital version. Physical version to come out for a couple weeks later. So we got Metroid Prime Remastered, but we never got 2 and 3. So honestly, I wish they had just shadow dropped Metroid Prime Trilogy from the Wii, just remastered. Like they had all 3 right there, instead of doing. How are you gonna just do the first game and not release it later too? Like, come on, Nintendo. And then we've got the newest entry, just came out this month, December 2025, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. It's crazy to think that the Switch is getting games over 8.5 years into its life cycle. But here we go. Apparently this is on the shorter side. You could beat the game in 12 hours, but that just goes to show, like, they wanted to get this thing out, because they announced it for the Switch. They wanted to get it out for the Switch, and now it has Switch 2 edition. I just got the upgrade pack, so I can play it on Switch or Switch 2, so here we go. All right, after that, we got Nintendo Switch Sports. So this is basically Wii Sports for Nintendo Switch. Pretty fun. I do like a lot of the exercise games on Nintendo hardware, so that's why I picked that up. So here No More Heroes, Travis Strikes Again. So if you guys didn't know, No More Heroes was a exclusive franchise on the Nintendo Wii. It had 1 and 2, and then we didn't hear about it after that. But then it made a comeback on the Switch, and so they released 1 and 2. I only got the digital versions, not the limited run games versions, but I have the spin-off Travis Strikes Again, which takes place after 2 but before 3, so that's that. And then here is No More Heroes 3. So this is Travis, and he's going to be fighting this Thanos-looking guy. And man, the trailer for this, I'm not sure which E3 or Nintendo Direct it was, but man, it sold me on this game. And Travis is basically taking down like a top 10 list of like aliens / superheroes on the world, and it's just crazy violent. It's such a good game. Love it. And then here comes a really good game. Another one of my imports, Okami. So I do have Okami on. I had it on. Originally came out on PlayStation 2. Didn't have that console. Came out on PlayStation. It came out on the Wii, but I didn't get that version because it was limited print. So then it came out on PlayStation 4. Played through it on there, but then I was importing, I believe, the Fatal Frame games, and I needed to add a third game to the cart to get the free shipping on Play Asia. So then I went ahead and found Okami, and here we go, physical copy of Okami for the Switch. Switch is region free, so play it through. So not much issues there. Okay, next up we've got Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. Shout out to you, Vivian. I never had Paper Mario Thousand Year Door on GameCube, but you told me is your favorite, so I ended up getting it for the Switch. And then we've got the newer one. So this is another Amazon mix-up. I ordered it here in the US. There's a US version. They sent me the European version. It doesn't really matter because it's region-free, but that's just another accidental import. Then another of my girlfriend's game, Princess Peach Showtime. You play as Princess Peach all the way through, so glad I got this for you. Next up, we have Overwatch Legendary Edition. So this is another code in the box thing where you get basically a free-to-play game with some skins similar to Fortnite and Apex Legends. I just got it because it's surprising Overwatch came to Switch, but there we go. And then we've got the Pokemons. So to start the Switch off, they actually started Gen 7. So we went from Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon on 3DS 2016-17 to Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. So I played Eevee version first because I had played Pokemon Yellow way back in the day, and then I eventually got Let's Go Pikachu later on just to complete the Kanto Pokédex. But these are full 3D remakes on the Nintendo Switch, and not everybody likes the control scheme, but these ones did keep the Mega Evolution dynamic. So this was, for the longest time, this is the last Mega Evolution game, a game to use Mega Evolution until this year's release. So we had Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and that was for Gen 7 on Switch. So Switch actually had 3 generations of Pokemon on it. Next up, we will go with the Gen 8 games, Sword and Shield. So these started a new trend within the Pokemon franchise. So with Gen 5, they broke the third version by having sequels. With Gen 7, they broke the third version by having two updated versions. Sword and Shield broke that mold because they have DLC. First Pokemon games that have purchasable DLC. So there were unique versions later on with the DLC, like as a code in the box. I just got them digitally, didn't want to rebuy them. But I actually like Galar. Galar introduced the Gigantamax and Dynamax Pokemon, basically giant Pokemon. And they introduced raids to Pokemon, so you could raid, rare Pokemon, unique Pokemon with your friends. Up to 4 players, so I really like that. That Sword and Shield introduced that. Really liked a lot of the Galar Pokemon. They continued on with the regional variants, so Galarian Weezing. They even had like Galarian Evolution, so you could get like Galarian Farfetch evolves into Surfetch and so on. So that's that. Don't understand all the hate for them, but really like them. And then speaking of hate, these two right here. So sometimes with these Switches, like Sword and Shield had it. I didn't manage to get that, but there was a double pack released. So basically you get both in there with some bonus codes. So Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Gen 4 remakes. And when I say remakes, these are more like remastered. These are the same exact top-down style from the DS, and they just have like updated visuals. And they really don't add any new content. It's just Diamond and Pearl. They don't have the Platinum content in there. They have like some new content at the end, but it's not as cool as Platinum. And then for some reason, the remakes sort of got a third version, but it's kind of its own thing now. So we got Legends Arceus on Switch. So this is like an open world Pokemon game, and you're going around and you're not getting badges. You're like just exploring the land, and you can actually get hurt. Your character can get hurt by Pokemon. So that's entirely new. You play in the Hisu region, which is set 300 years ago, so it's ancient Sinnoh, basically. And even though Arceus isn't on the box art, like he's involved in the storyline and he's the one that brought you there, and then he's the final encounter in the game. So yeah, that's Gen 8 of Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch. So we had Gen 7, Gen 8, and then we're moving on to, we even got Gen 9, Scarlet and Violet. By far, the Pokemon games I have the most amount of time. So this is basically Pokemon meets Harry Potter, kind of what Fire Emblem, Three Houses did. Pokemon franchise puts you in school and like you take classes, but you're really out there battling gym leaders, catching Pokemon. But this, what we started with Legends Arceus evolved in Scarlet and Violet. This is open world Pokemon. You can go anywhere in the world. There's not that many restrictions. Um, this is a double pack I got, and then they continued what Gen 8 started. They both got DLC. There were re-releases later on with the DLC bundled in. I don't have that, just got the launch version. But yeah, I said this is my most played Switch games just because they made making battleable Pokemon very, very simple in a game. I'm talking having, your correct individual values, correct effort values, correct natures, correct abilities. Like the items in here and the methods in this game just make competitive Pokemon way, way easier and more accessible for the general public. So to have 400 hours on Scarlet and over 100 something hours on Violet. And then honestly, this might be my favorite Pokemon game to date. Like, we're gonna talk about this on its own. So, Pokemon Legends ZA. So, what this is it's basically the long lost Z game. It's the Kalos region 5 years later, and they reintroduced Mega Evolution. So, between Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, there was no Mega Evolution on Nintendo Switch. This brought that all back. Not only did it bring back prior Mega Evolutions, it introduced new Mega Evolutions, and then it Legends Arceus had a ton of updates, but this has paid DLC, which is an entirely new story, and it introduces even more Mega Evolutions, both from primarily the home games, Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, and then brand new ones as well. And I haven't finished the DLC all the way yet, but I'm already over 60 hours in, and I love this game so much. It might be my favorite Pokemon game on Nintendo Switch. Legends Arceus is in a second. And with that, we'll move on to the next stack. Right. We are going on to our next stack of Nintendo Switch games. Okay. So to start, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Rescue Team DX. So this basically combines, if you didn't know, Blue Mystery Dungeon, which was on Game Boy, and Red Rescue Team, which was on Game Boy Advance, and Blue Rescue Team, which was on DS, and it basically combines them into one game as a remake on Nintendo Switch. So that's the only Mystery Dungeon game we got on Switch, but played through both of these, so glad they have it in one package. Okay, next up, we've got new Pokemon Snap. So Pokemon Snap was originally on the N64. So this updates it with Pokemon from Gen 1 all the way till Gen 8. So way more Pokemon. Really unique experience. After that, we got Pokemon Tournament DX. So if you haven't noticed, there's a lot of Wii U games re-released on the Nintendo Switch. That's just because nobody bought a Wii U, but everybody's buying Nintendo Switches. So this expanded on the roster of the original Pokemon Tournament, and even included a new version of the controller to use with it. So next up, we got the third game from Rockstar Games, Red Dead Redemption. So honestly, surprised, like they waited till like way like mid 2020s to re-release Red Dead Redemption. I believe it was 2024. So this was stuck on the 360 PS3, and then it got re-released on the PS4 and the Switch, and then just this month, December 2025, it got re-released on the PS5, Xbox Series X, and Nintendo Switch 2 with some free upgrade packs, and then it even got released on mobile now, so they're just trying to put this thing on everything now. So that's Red Dead Redemption, Nintendo Switch. I got the Switch 2 edition upgrade as well. Then we got Ring Fit Adventure. So this, when I say I play exercise games, Nintendo Wii Sports, played that hundreds of hours. Didn't have one for the Wii U. But then when the pandemic hit in 2020, and I was literally locked in my apartment, I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't even go outside, really. I got this game, Ring Fit Adventure, and I would play. I would be doing exercises, and this thing can actually work. You'd be running, you'll be doing different exercises in here. Wish I got some more fitness games for the Wii, but for the Nintendo Switch, but this is the one I had the most amount of time in. Next up, we got Rocket League Collector's Edition. So another Epic Games that came here. This one was actually a physical card because it came out before Epic Games bought Rocket League. But this is just Rocket League on Nintendo Switch. I got it for free on PS4, so I wanted a physical edition. Came out on Switch, so I got that. Okay, next up, we've got some Sonic games. So we've got Sonic Colors. So this was trapped on the Wii. Didn't make it to Wii U, but now we have remastered. Love Sonic Colors, one of my favorite Sonic games. And then we got a 2-in-1 actually. So if you didn't know, Sega would do these value deals where they would bundle some games together. So I have Sonic Forces. Actually haven't played it. I got this more so for Super Monkey Ball because I played that on the GameCube way back in the day. So that's a 2-in-1. Then we got Sonic Frontier. So this is a 3D Sonic game, but it came out on other platforms as well, multi-platform. Switch performance isn't too bad, but you could really tell like there's not a lot populated in the overworld as the other versions. Then we've got Sonic Mania. So this kind of saved the Sonic franchise when Sonic franchise was kind of in a rut. So fans, a lot of the Sonic fan-made levels and games contributed to this, and then Sega ended up publishing this for them. So Sonic Mania brought it return to form. And then later on, we got the old Sonic games in a collection. So Sonic 1, 2, 3, Sonic CD, and there's a 5th game on here. I can't remember which one it is. They're all on there, so you can play all those. Nintendo Switch, love it. So let's go ahead and clean this up a little bit. Oh, bless me. All right, next up, Sonic Superstars. Dude, they did a bait and switch on this, man. This is like a 4-player Sonic game, but it's super short. So, I mean, it's worth, I would say $20 at most. Don't pay any more for this. It's just a really short game, but if you got 3 other people to play with, recommend it. Then one of the newer ones, Sonic X Shadow Generations. So this is basically Sonic Generations from the PS3 and 360 remastered, plus an additional Shadow storyline. So got it mainly for the Shadow storyline, and this came out the same year as Sonic the Hedgehog 3, so kind of tied into that. So, and then we got some racing games. So Team Sonic Racing. This is just kind of continues on from the Sonic and Sega All Stars and Sega All Stars. Just Sonic and Cars, very much a Mario Kart clone. But then we got Sonic Racing Cross Worlds in 2025. So this came out on Switch and Switch 2. There's no physical Switch 2 version yet. They actually released the Switch version first, and then the upgrade pack just came out this month, December 2025. So I really love this game. This game is honestly might be my most played kart game this year. So you got the traditional vehicles, but then you also have flying machines, and they even brought back the hoverboards from the Sonic Rider series. And oh my god, I played so much Sonic Riders. And if this wasn't enough, when it says Crossworld, that's because they're introducing other franchises. So there's other Sega franchises, other guest characters that are featured in here. So I love Sonic Racing Crossworld. Okay, next up, we've got the elusive Super Mario 3D All-Stars. So when Nintendo announced this, that we're getting 3D Mario 64 Sunshine and Galaxy for $60, but it's only going to be available for 1 year. I rushed out to get this as soon as I could. So I primarily played Super Mario 64, because even though I had an N64, I didn't have that game. And Galaxy. I played Sunshine on the GameCube, and that was enough for me. So that's what I got this for. And then we also have, moving on to 3D, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. So this is a re-release of 3D World from the Wii U, plus a new game, Bowser, plus a new like side story, Bowser's Fury. So that was pretty fun to replay through. And then we got another Wii U re-release, Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. And then we got the Switch, the Switch's main 2D Mario. Like, it's a unique one, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Really like this game. Super fun, super colorful. Love this game. And then we got a new Super Mario on Switch this year, a Super Mario Galaxy 1+2. So Nintendo having that earlier version time limited for only 1 year meant that all the copies out in the wild were no longer available. So to celebrate the upcoming Super Mario Galaxy movie coming out in 2026, they decided to release Galaxy 1 and 2. Now, what I'm confused about is why is there no upgrade pack for Switch 2 yet, considering I know that these are basically just re-releases or ports even. They're not completely remastered. But this came out after the Switch 2 had already launched, so it would only make sense that there would be a Switch 2 upgrade pack. But this one doesn't have it, surprisingly. And if you already have the digital version of Super Mario Galaxy from the 3D All-Stars, you can purchase Galaxy 2 separately on the Switch eShop. I got this because I wanted a physical version, so I don't mind having the 2-pack. And then next, we got Super Mario Maker 2. Honestly, this is probably way more played than the original version, just because of the Switch's install base. But this took everything from Super Mario Maker 1 and expanded upon it a lot more characters, enemies, level designs, and then the Switch 2 Wi-Fi system's way easier to use. Next up, we got Super Mario Odyssey, the 3D Odyssey, 3D Mario game for the Switch. Played through it, but not on launch. I got a Switch in 2018, so I played through it later on. Really like it. Really like the New York setting, New Donk City, that they call it. It's a really fun Mario game. After that, we got Super Mario RPG. So this is another shout out to Vivian. So I didn't have a Super Nintendo Entertainment System SNES. I was born after that, so I never got a chance to play the original Super Mario RPG. But this got re-released on Nintendo Switch, so I went ahead and picked it up. So there you go. Then we got Super Mario Party. So this one, this one I played a bit with John as well. We always play the Mario Party games, and then this is the newest one. Haven't had a chance to play this on anybody. Super Mario Party Jamboree, and then this also has a Switch 2 edition, or you could pay to upgrade it to the Switch 2 edition with an extra DLC. So Mario Party got some love on the Switch. And then we'll power through to the last stack right here. Okay, we got another Super Monkey Ball. So in total, there's 3 on the Switch. This is Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. And then we've also got Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble. So that's the newest version. I believe Banana Mania is also a new version, and the previous one was a remake. Next, we got Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It is up there for a number of hours for me. So when they say Ultimate, they brought back every single Smash Bros. Character from earlier entries, and then they added more DLC on top of that. And surprised this does not have a Switch 2 edition yet. I'm not sure if they're going to make another Super Smash Bros. Considering Sakurai, wants to retire. He just finished up Kirby Air Riders. So if we do get another Super Smash Bros. And it's from Sakurai, it's going to be later in the life cycle. That's not going to be announced anytime soon. So surprised they haven't done a Switch 2 edition for this yet. Next up is another Wii U re-release, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, #FE Encore. So this has extra missions in it as well. I only played through a bit of it because I played through it primarily on Wii U. So after that, we've got more Xenoblade. So Xenoblade got re-released on the Nintendo Switch Definitive Edition. Way better performance, and then that kind of spawned its own series. So we got Xenoblade Chronicles 2, not directly connected, but very similar in terms of gameplay. And then this did have standalone DLC. I ended up getting that digitally because I think they released a standalone physical cartridge later on. So then we also got Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So really like the aesthetics they kept with it, consistent. Again, this is not connected to 2 or 1, but they have similar gameplay. And then a Wii U remake, and they even kind of changed the art a bit because this is to be darker. Xenoblade Chronicles X. So this is mech suits. I played this on the Wii U, and glad they did re-release this because this was like one of the last Wii U games trapped on the Wii U. So Xenoblade Chronicles X as well. And then moving on, we've got Yoshi's Crafted World. This is a sequel to Yoshi's Epic Yarn, which was on the Wii. I think I rented that. I know I played it, but this one being on the Switch is really fun. It's mainly geared toward younger children. It's very easy to play. But if you want to, Yoshi, if you really like Yoshi, recommend it. Next up, we got a release from earlier this year, Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days Collection. So this is basically every Yu-Gi-Oh game from Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance re-released on the Switch. So Konami, rather than release them on the Game Boy Advance Classics on Switch Online, they'd rather release this collection, which is fine with me. It came with a Harpy's Feather Duster, really good card, even in today's meta. Glad they unbanned it. So if you like early Yu-Gi-Oh, this is for you. What I put way more amount of hours into was Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution. So this has duels from all the 6 Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. So Duel Monsters, GX, 5Ds, Zexal, Arc 5, my favorite, and Reigns. And it has campaigns all the way through. And it even got a free update like over a year later with bringing it up to date with the cards. And it finished out the Reigns storyline because it only got up to, I think, season 1 or season 2. So finished it out. So I put easily 100 hours in this game. I just love it. Yeah, big Yu-Gi-Oh fan. And then finally, we will get into our Switch 2 games. Physical Switch 2 games, I have a lot of them from upgrade packs. There's a couple I have digital as well. But these are the 4 physical Switch 2 games I have for December 2025. So Donkey Kong Bonanza was contender for Game of the Year. This is a really good game. Honestly, this is a really good game. Nintendo did a great job with this game. It revitalizes Donkey Kong for new era people. Love the destructibility of the environment, and it even already has DLC, so can't hate on it. Donkey Kong Bonanza, worth all the praise. Next up, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. So this is kind of like a course correction for Nintendo. So this is basically Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity made canon because at the start of Tears of the Kingdom, Link and Zelda are separated, and this shows what Zelda was up to when she got separated. And it's canonical. You can play through a ton of different characters in a unique story, so really like it. After that, we've got one for my girlfriend, Kirby Air Riders. We're gonna play this over Christmas break, boo. So hope you're excited. And then finally, we got Mario Kart World. So this is one of the most controversial games this year because of the $80 price tag. Yes, I got the physical version, even though it came with a bundle that only had a digital version. So the bundle was $50 more with the Switch. This is $80 standalone. I did it for the $80. I had a $10 coupon though, so it was only $70. But yeah, honestly, I feel like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was more my style. I don't really like the open world environment for Mario Kart. I know you could drive around, do things with your friends, but I'm playing Mario Kart to race, not to like for some social hub. But yeah, that's my entire Switch 2 game collection that you guys can see there. Switch and Switch 2. The Switch 2 plays majority of Switch 1 games, so you're good on that. And yeah, I've really been trying as an adult to stay up on game releases, so that's I'm pretty much caught up on all the ones that I want. I don't believe there's any more at this time. But yeah, thanks for watching. This has been Dago FPS. Please share your comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And Dago FPS out.